Here are 15 silent relationship killers. Number 1, conflict avoidance. You see, every time you avoid conflict, you're not openly communicating your problems. So what happens is this tends to stay in your mind and build up, causing the relationship to slowly drift apart. Stop saying, but we stopped arguing. We'd rather focus on the positive than the negatives. It is through conflict that we build connection. So don't think that avoiding conflict is a good thing. Number 2, resentment. Not communicating your feelings, the unmet needs that you don't talk about, the expectations that you do not discuss, the sweeping of issues under the rug will cause resentment. And what's worse, it will breed the silent killer, number 3, which is contempt. Now, contempt is, deep down stems from a sense of feeling unappreciated, unacknowledged in the relationship. And it can take the form of verbal or non-verbal language, which can include sarcasm, or mockery, or facial gestures, rolling your eyes, jeering. Because you have built up so much resentment, you have bottled it up, now you have contempt, right? You have disgust. It is fueled by a long simmering negative thoughts that you have about your partner that you are not talking about. If you want to fix this, please keep the lines of communication open in your relationship. Number 4, comparison. Yes, it is true what you've heard. It is the thief of joy. Stop it. The grass is greener where you water it. Start watering yours. It's not greener on the other side. Number 5, invalidating or dismissing your partner's emotions. Why, it wasn't that bad. Actually, now you're too sensitive. You're too dramatic. You see, this makes your partner feel unheard and disconnected in the long run. Number 6, placing the burden of communication on your partner. Eva ya Tessa, can you please talk about this? You never reciprocate. It's silently killing your relationship. Number 7, your unresolved trauma that you're ignoring will quickly ruin your relationship, but slowly. You might not see it coming. Now, you see, everyone comes with baggage in a relationship. Failing to deal with it is going to hurt your relationship. Number 8, silent treatment or stonewalling, aka lucidika. Our sisters, you love this one. And I've seen so many men who do it as well. You see, shutting down from conversations is going to kill your relationship. Because, how are you supposed to solve problems when one person is not making the effort to meet you halfway? Number 9, inconsistency. You see, you introduce people to vibes that you cannot maintain, and then you blame them for expecting them. Stop it. It's killing your relationship. Number 10, neglect. Now, when you stop paying attention to your partner's needs, to their desires, this manifests through a lack of communication, spending less quality time together, or even ignoring each other's concerns. Before you know it, you've become roommates. Neglect is slowly killing your relationship. You need to pay attention to it. Number 11, complacency. Now, this happens when you get too comfortable in a relationship. You stop making the effort to keep the spark alive. You don't take your partner seriously. You take them for granted. You see, now complacency will lead to stagnation in your relationship, and a lack of excitement is definitely going to eat you guys up. Number 12, defensiveness. You see, when you're defensive, you're reversing the blame in an attempt to make it your partner's fault. You're always right, it's always your partner who is wrong. I think you can see how this is already not working out as a strategy in your marriage. Instead, a non-defensive response can express acceptance of responsibility, admission of fault, and understanding your partner's perspective. Try it. Number 13, criticism. Now, this is an attack on your partner at the core of their character. You need to learn the difference between voicing a complaint respectfully and criticizing. Number 14, ignoring bids of connection, which eventually leads to a lack of emotional connection or emotional intimacy in a relationship. I keep telling people the number 1 killer of all relationships is a lack of connection emotionally in a marriage. It is not sustainable long term to have a romantic relationship without emotional intimacy. If emotional intimacy is lacking in your relationship, one or both of you may feel a lack of safety, a lack of love, a lack of support, overall connection, and it will also most likely affect the physical intimacy and sexual intimacy in your relationship. In a relationship where there is no emotional connection, there is no friendship. Techina jechiraga. Lastly, and one of the most important one, is if Allah is not in the center of your relationship, it will only reach a certain point. Tried and tested. Ask around. For a relationship to last, both partners must seek God in every way possible. Because that's the only way you're going to have direction. You see, a person who fears Allah generally will fear Allah in regards to how they treat you. Assalam Alaykum Warahmatullah Wabarakatuh. Which of these silent killers is ruining your relationship? Let's talk about it.